Thank you everybody for attending this webinar on how to strengthen your employer brand with Google Analytics, presented by Silk Road and Carlson Rezidor Hotels. This is one of a series of webinars that Silk Road provides to our clients as part of our account management program. And due to the demand by other parties, we're presenting this as a public access session. And I'd like to thank Carlson for agreeing to present their journey to this wider audience. Your presenters today are myself, Peter Earnshaw. I'm the Managing Director of Silk Road in Asia, and Nina Gothberg, the Director of HR for the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group. Nina has over 10 years experience in the hospitality industry, with the last 7 years in human resources. She's worked in various roles in Sweden, France, Australia and Singapore. Her current role is Director of Human Resources at Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group. Her areas of responsibilities include talent acquisition, comp and benefits, awards and recognition, employee engagement, and HR policies and procedure. As part of her role, she is responsible for the company career website and the use of the Silk Road platform OpenHire across the hotels in the Asia Pacific region. We're going to take about 40 minutes of your time today to explain what Google Analytics is and how it can be used for strategic HR purposes. Just before we move on to that, I just wanted to let everybody know a little bit about Silk Road. Silk Road is a leading provider of cloud-based end-to-end HR solutions that helps companies build their bottom line by attracting, motivating, and retaining top talent. We're perhaps best known for our award-winning Life Suite solution suite. This employee-branded integrated solution suite consists of 6 applications that you can see on your screen here. Basically OpenHire, which is what we're going to be looking at in conjunction with Google Analytics today around the attraction strategies, Red Carpet around engagement, Wingspan for performance, Greenlight for learning management, learning and development, and then its core Heartbeat, which is a core HR system and a central record. The Life Suite is ideally suited for businesses of any size because of its unique and open start anywhere architecture. So you can just pick one of these applications, or you can take the whole suite. They all work together. Silk Road in the region are based out of Singapore, with offices from Tokyo in the north to Melbourne and Auckland in the south. Although we do have clients all the way down past Christchurch, almost into Antarctica. The Asia Pacific region is a fully autonomous region with hundreds of clients across the product suite, and our clients range in size from gourmet restaurateurs like the Urban Purveyor Group through to multinationals like Starbucks, Singapore Airlines, and of course the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group. The Silk Road teams in region provide both implementation and support services to ensure that our clients are successful in meeting the HR outcomes that drive the success of their own business. One of those clients that we have worked with to partner on their applicant tracking system and talent attraction is Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group. And so I'd just like to hand over to Nina to introduce the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group and their profile in the Asia region. Nina.
Yes, good morning, this is Nina. So we are a hotel management company with over 95 hotels in Asia Pacific. And our hotel portfolio includes the following brands, which is Corvus Collection, Radisson Blue, Radisson Red, Park Plaza, Park Inn, and Country Inns and Suites. So in terms of the, in this region, Carlson Rezidor has its regional headquarters in Singapore. And the growth of the company in the past 4 years has been very rapid. And the number of hotel properties have almost doubled, as you can see on the screen at the moment. This has put a lot of pressure on the HR function to be able to staff the operations so that we can open the new properties as well as retain the staff that we have to deliver a consistent service across the group. In this webinar, I'm going to detail how we embarked on our journey to develop our employee value proposition and how we communicate this through digital media using Google Analytics to help us measure, analyze, and make decisions on our strategy.
Thank you, Nina. Before Nina goes into how they use Google Analytics in the HR context, I'm going to give you a very brief and low-tech overview of what Google Analytics is and why you should care. A quick confession at this point, I've been involved with cloud technology and commercial websites since about 2001. This sort of technology has moved on from visitor counters, which some of you may have may remember, where you would go to a page and it would count you, and you would see the update every time you went to the page of how many people had visited. And to decide how popular your website or not was, you would go to your site and see how many people had visited it. And that was really the limit to how you would be able to get feedback on your website. Well, in 2005, Google bought a tech company called Urchin Software. And after a few false starts, they launched a product called Google Analytics, or the conversion of Google Analytics in 2011. And that's what we're going to be profiling today, what it is and how it works. So what does it do? Well, it's basically, as you can see on the screen here, it's a script that you include in the metadata, which is a set of instructions on how the website displays via your browser. And when you visit that page as a user, the script is activated and a number of data sets about you, the user, and your interaction with the web page are recorded. The Google Analytics software then compiles this data and gives the owner of the website, in this case, Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group, a set of statistics and reporting capability to understand the interaction. This is actually a free service offered by Google, as long as you don't exceed a very high volume quota. So it's accessible to anybody that runs a website. Many people confuse Google Analytics with cookies. They're two different things. If you set your browser so that it doesn't accept cookies, so you're privately browsing, then some data sets won't be recorded and collected, but your information and passage through the site will still be recorded. There's no such thing as anonymity. It will just restrict the number of data sets that's recorded by Google Analytics, but you will show up in the statistics and we will be able to know who you are. So what does it do? Right? Well, it allows you to basically know your audience. Right? So the Google Analytics will give you information on the demographics of the visitors to your website and specific pages and sections of your website. And typically, you can see on the left-hand side, we've sort of circled this, you can see the things like geographical locations that users are interacting with your site from, the browser they're using, whether or not it's mobile or it's a PC, where they came from. Did they come via a search engine, or did they come via another web property? And if the user does have a third-party cookie enabled that's been dropped into their browser, such as DoubleClick, then you will get much richer information around things such as gender, age, similar sites that they visited. So you'll get a very good view by dropping this script in. You're going to know how many people are visiting you, where they're coming from, what they're doing with your site, and some very discrete information sets about that audience. So we can also track, using Google Analytics, the audience, how people interact with your site, or the user flow, the behaviors of people on the site. So this looks quite a complex diagram, but what it actually does is Google Analytics allows you to build paths through your website. So what it does, it allows you to see how people are getting to a goal that you set out there. So the final node that you see on the far right-hand side represents the goal that you've set up. Typically, that would be something like an e-commerce application. So you want them to interact with your website, go through the website, and then check out and buy something on your website. So users that travel through the funnel that you've set up and exit at the goal, they're termed to have been converted on your website, and Google will allow you to really drill into that conversion and where people are dropping off within that process. So for HR, deploying Google on the portal, careers portal, what you're trying to do is increase the quality and quantity of the applicants for the roles, understand more about them, and conversion from a career site perspective is around the number of applications that you get that fit the applicant profile that you're looking for. So for HR, deploying Google on the portal, careers portal, what you're trying to do is increase the quality and quantity of the applicants for the roles, understand more about them, and conversion from a career site perspective is around the number of applications that you get that fit the applicant profile that you're looking for. The final piece that you do need is obviously a website, right? So HR must own this website. They must have the ability to change things on the pages. So based on the intelligence supplied by Google Analytics, they need to have a content management system. This one here is the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group site run by Silk Road, and you can see that there's a content management system that's built in here to allow the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group's HR team to be able to change content, add new pages and media, and to refine the marketing of their employee value proposition through the website. They can also set up specific landing pages where they can then track the effectiveness of offline recruitment activity. We've got another client, which is Starbucks, and they do a lot of in-store recruitment where you go into a store, they'll give you a brochure that sends you to a web page. And they can see how many people are landing on that web page. So they can see what you only get to that web page if you've got a brochure, if you've got one of their brochures. So they can see the effectiveness of that campaign. So you can start to track the offline effectiveness of something. So that's how Google Analytics works. That's the tech section. So it's a set of data that goes into the metadata. It's a script that goes into the metadata of your website that allows you to understand what's going on with your website, to be able to track and analyze that data, to be able to use it for strategic purposes. So I'm going to hand back over now to Nina to take us through how they've used this technology at the Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group in the sphere of HR. So over to you, Nina.
Okay, so we are using our career website to promote the careers with Carlson Rezidor and also the company EVP that we have. And Google Analytics shows us if this is resonating with the audience and driving the behaviors to produce the outcome that we want, which is, of course, in the end of the day, more applicants. As well as weeding out applicants that don't fit with our EVP, which is also our company culture. The data allows us to reinforce the messaging at critical points through the journey that the user goes through in the website, and to ensure as well that more people reach the goal, and the goal is to apply for positions. And due to the granular nature of the reporting, it is possible to create discrete EVPs for different roles and function and build a path through the site to provide the experience for the job seekers. And you can then track how you do in that regard, the performance. So let's now look at how we defined our EVP here at Carlson Rezidor. So this was a 2-year project from the time that we started to the time that the EVP was launched and our new website was made available. So if you look here at the screen, we started with this discovery, which was a survey of our employees to see what was important to them. Then we interviewed different recruitment agents, and we had a steering committee with focus groups on the EVP. Then we had workshops with agency teams. We reviewed competitors' EVPs, and we ensured alignment and input from our corporate office in the US and India and China teams as well. We then looked at the testing and selection of the EVP. So we had workshops with our executive committee and with our EVP steering committee as well, to ensure that what came out from all the surveying, that resonated to us in practice as well. Then when it had been decided what our EVP would be, we then looked at developing the materials and also the communication through it. And then we did translation testing as well to some of the other languages that we use in this region, such as Thai, Hindi, and also Chinese. And then we went live. So to go through the project of EVP is a long project, but it's important that the research is done from the start, because this should be something that resonates to people who work with you, but also makes people that apply for position excited to join our company. and when we did the survey, there was one area that was very important for our employees, and that was respect. So over 56% of all employees thought that respect was the most important thing for them when they chose a job. So and so therefore respect was is very prominent in our EVP as well. And on our EVP, we actually don't have compensation as part of it, because compensation is not really a differentiator to our competitors. So we focus more on our company and the career path that you get with Carlson Rezidor. And we then worked with our communications agency, Weber Chandwick, and they came up with our EVP, which is Make Your Mark. And the reason why we chose Make Your Mark is that one thing that also came up as very important to our employees is the sense of empowerment. And Make Your Mark shows that sense of empowerment that we have here. Okay, so our employee value proposition is to Make Your Mark, as I said, and then we have three subsets of that. It's Make It Happen, Make It Yours, and Make It Together. And Make It Happen is more towards the recruitment, so it's for potential candidates, and it's for them to realize the potential in the workplace that rewards initiative. So this is where we look at what organization we have, the fact that we provide empowerment to our employees, and also how we deliver outcomes to our customers. Then Make It Yours is more focused on learning and development, so it sees exciting opportunities in a dynamic and growing organization. And this is also where we focus on the fact that we are a global hotel company, because that is something that is also something that attracts future candidates to work for us. And then Make It Together, this is where our respect components come in. So it's achieving a workplace that celebrates individual talent and shared success. And we also focus on the fact that we are actually a family-owned company, and we offer fun, collaborative working environments. And then, so after we had formulated our EVP, then the next step was to communicate the EVP, and one of the biggest platforms for this was our career website. So what you can see to the left is our previous career website, and to the right is the new one. So we updated the website to make the user experience more engaging and to make it easier for candidates to apply for positions with Carlson Rezidor. And as you can see, our old website was very text heavy, and the candidate had to go through several clicks before they could apply for a job. And we wanted to make it easier for candidates to apply for jobs, which is why we have the search for a job on the home page, which you can see underneath the photo there. And the new website is also in line with our EVP, and it's very prominent on the first page. You can see Make Your Mark. So our new website has less text, more images, and is easier to navigate through. So when we looked into updating our career website, some of the challenges that we were facing was to ensure we could increase the number of visitors to our career website. We also wanted to broaden the audience demographics of who came to our website and who applies. We wanted to build a repeat audience so that people know if they want to have a job with Carlson Rezidor, the best place to go to is our career website, so that they come back. And of course, in the end of the day, the reason why we have a career website is so that candidates can apply for positions. So we wanted to increase the number of applicants through the website. And we also wanted to have a way how we can show the value to the business and to the properties to see what is their ROI of having the career website and open hire. And the solution that we had to this is that we look at our customers are of course the talent. So the career website we use to attract new employees. So we looked at what was the talent pool. The product that we use to communicate to our future employees is the employee value proposition. So that has a prominent place throughout our website. What we purchased was of course the applications. So the career website application that we use, which is linked to OpenHire, and how we can measure how the results of our career website is through the Google Analytics. So that is our measuring tool. Okay, so then the next stage was that we knew what the challenge was. We knew what we wanted to do to improve it. So then we engaged Weber Chandwick to put together the new look of the website, of the portal. And that one was going to be hosted by Silk Road, and Google Analytics was added to all the pages of the website. And we wanted to allow visitors to the career site to be able to get to relevant jobs in only one step, which is why on the landing page we have the search for job there. We put in rich information about different job types and made a clear path through the site so the visitors could find information relevant to their location or desired brand business very easily. So at every single job there are some shortcuts where they can find some information as well. So it's easy on every page to go to other information. And then what we do is that the Google Analytics is shared with our region director of HR, and they then share this information with the hotels. And the region that have very good results on the website, we ask them to share their best practices so that all of us can learn from what they are doing, because we want to constantly improve and see how we can use the website even better. So now we're going to look into a little bit more, how do we use Google Analytics? So what you see here in front of you is from our Google Analytics reports of April. So Google Analytics can really have insight into two different areas: is acquisition and behavior. And then we have the conversions are tracked using the ATS system, which we will go into a little bit later. If we start with the acquisitions, so this section tells us where our audience is. So where do they come from? And the majority of our hotels are in India, so that is the #1 visitor demographics, as you can see on this page. Despite the fact that we do not run hotels in UAE, we have a lot of visitors from that country. And that is, we had looked into that a little bit, and what we noticed is that there are quite a few people that look for jobs in India from UAE, and also Indian nationals have gone and worked there, and then they want to come back again. So that is where we get quite a lot of the applicants from United Arab Emirates. And we are consistently growing our audience across the countries in which we operate, as well as becoming attracted to job seekers from outside these regions who are looking for opportunities in the Asia-Pacific region. And the data provides us with insight into who our brand proposition resonates with. So we can see from which countries do we receive applications and who does it resonate with. So if we look at acquisition, you can see under session is how many people went into the website. Percentage of new sessions means how many people were new to the website. So 78% were new visitors, and new users who had never clicked before were 15,140. So this is the information that we look at in acquisition. Then under behaviors, this section tells us how people are interacting with our site. So we are looking at what part of our EVP are of interest to a job seeker, and is there a golden path through the site that results in high quality applicants. On this slide here, we look at the visitors' behavior on a more granular level, and we can actually track where on the website we have most visitors. So we can report and track not just the path through the website, but the popularity of certain pages and information sets. And this report on the screen we use to see which jobs had the most visitors. So and the reason why we want to single out certain jobs as well is that then other hotels can see, okay, this job had very high number of applicants. What are the reasons behind that? Is it written in a different way, or have they linked it to certain outside job boards, or they can seek they can get some information of what do this hotel do to receive this high level of visitors. Then what we do is that the Google Analytics shows you who and how our visitors are on our career website. We then want to look at the conversion rates as well. So conversion is the rate that we get tracked on a monthly basis. So we combine the Google Analytics data with data from OpenHire to see how we're doing against our targets and areas that we can improve. So the information on the screen that you see here, which is from the ATS system, is number of applicants, the conversion rate, and number of hires. So what we have as part of our objectives is to increase the number of applicants from last year to this year by 10%. So we track the number of applicants, column here, row here. And so we look at both the information that we get from Google Analytics and the information we get from Open Hire to see actually from the number of visitors we have to the website, how many are converted into actual applicants. And of course, we want to increase that as much as we can. You can also see this with the most visited recruitment ads. So these are the ones that are the most visited during that month. And we share that with everyone as well so that they can go in and have a look at those ads to learn from their colleagues. So if we then, so after we had updated the career website, we looked at from 3 months period last year to 3 months period this year, what is the result? What has happened since we updated the website? So the site traffic has increased by 65%, which is very good. And the time on the site increased by 1 minute per session. And it might not seem like a long time, but 1 minute is a huge increase on the time that a person spent on the website. And at the moment, we have over our time spent on the website by most of the candidates. The average is over 5 minutes, which is actually long in the life of a website. Then we looked at job listing page. So it remained one of the top destinations, and it increased its share of traffic from 11% to 38%. So 38% people then went to the job listings page. New submissions grew by 55%, and the focus of visitors moved more towards the jobs rather than the company, which is really what we want, because we have the website so that candidates can easily apply for jobs with our company. And we have also increased the return visitors as well to the website. Some other results that we had is the boomerangs from India to Middle East that we have, and we are actually also very present in Middle East as a company, so we can have people going back and forth there. We hired over 330 people so far this year, and that's only 4 months. And when we say 330 people, it's how many people have we registered through Open Hire as being hired. And if we had done that through an agency, the cost would have been over $500,000 US. So it's a big savings that we made. Our employee engagement is at 83% at our hotels, which is a very high level of engagement. And our turnover, in comparison to the same period last year, has dropped with over 10% to 17.5 at the moment at our hotels. Okay, so now from a business perspective, what's next? What are we going to go from here? So we want to ensure that we can maintain our engagement levels. We want to build qualified talent pools and market our brand to them possibly using the microsites. Keep communicating and making sure that we keep the volume of communication at a high level. And from a Google Analytics perspective, in Page Analytics, let us make a visual assessment of how users interact with our web pages. And that helps you answer questions like, is the layout optimal for what I want users to accomplish on the page? Are my users seeing the content I want them to see? Are my users finding what they're looking for on the page? Are my calls to action motivating or visible enough? What links are users clicking? And beginning with your site's homepage, you see what links users clicked. You can navigate in-page analytics the way you navigate your site. So click any link on your homepage, and when the new page is loaded, the corresponding data are showed for that page.
Great. Thank you very much, Nina, for sharing with us the journey that Carlson Rezidor Hotel Group have gone through. From defining their EVP, deciding how they're going to communicate that, and putting in place the Google Analytics to be able to understand and further refine how they're communicating that EVP to be able to staff and retain the hotels that they operate throughout this region.